Hello! In today's Archaeoscoop I have one news story that I'm going to discuss because I have an extremely busy day. As Reese mentioned in the video that he put out earlier this week, it's been mad busy for me here at Archaeoscoop Towers, but that's a great thing, and hopefully though in future weeks we will have so much coming at me in one day. But I have to say, this morning I had a wonderful, really interesting meeting with people with regards to a World War I project, but more on that probably next year actually. Anyway, today's news story comes from northern Spain, the site of Cima de los Huesos, where the so-called Pit of Bones is. This is where a collection of hominins were found. And this news story is actually about the recovery of a DNA sequence from the thigh bone of one of these remains. The Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology has sequenced an almost complete mitochondrial genome of one of the residents, or the inhabitants rather, of that cave, who were probably there around 400,000 years ago. Now this is very, very important because this is at least 4 times older than the previous sort of human record holder, or Homo record holder. That was a small 100,000-year-old stretch of Neanderthal DNA. It's a remarkable breakthrough actually. This really, as the article actually says, the team's success greatly expands the range of places from which scientists might hope to recover ancient DNA in the future. It doesn't yet, though, get anywhere near the record holder species-wide, and that is a 700,000-year-old horse. That horse was actually frozen in Siberian permafrost, and actually the researcher sort of says, well, if it was frozen in the freezer, the cave is kind of like a fridge, and to go any further back, you would probably need something like a person or a homo, or a hominin rather, having been frozen literally in ice. But it's still very, very exciting news, and actually this has shed some light on the relationship between Denisovans and Neanderthals, and for a long time they've been considered to be almost like sister species in a slightly sort of enigmatic kind of way. But actually it seems that this DNA could be from an ancestor who possibly gave rise to both Neanderthals and Denisovans. So I guess we'll have to see where this particular bit of research goes. But nonetheless, it's a remarkable breakthrough. Scientists recovering hominin data from a really long time ago, 400,000 years ago, almost 500,000 years. Incredible. So that's my news story for today. That's news story number 1. I'll also very briefly draw your attention to Neil Oliver in Australia, having challenged the view that somehow the First World War was an imperialistic war which Australians were dragged into unwillingly. He actually did a wonderful bit of, I suppose, public speaking on this issue, or certainly made a public comment highlighting that Australians, there were an awful lot of volunteers, and actually for many Australians, and for many people who study history, this was a time that sort of starts to define modern Australia. So, so that's a news story that was quite interesting actually, because I think a previous Prime Minister, or certainly senior minister, had said that it was an imperialistic waste of time. But you know, archaeology is also very good at making social comments in the modern day, just as it is at studying people who lived in the past. So that's another news story in the list, as always, as with others from the past few days in the video information. So all you need to do is just take a look there and take your time, have a good look through those news articles. Lots of good stuff to read. So without any further ado, I'll let you go and do that. Please do have a great weekend, and next week you will hopefully actually be getting that Indiana Bones video, but also have an in focus video planned as well. So it should be a good video week next week. As I say, take care. Bye bye.